Sanje Chodan Doji Chodan Pai Shanchu Badu Dhamma Jasunji Daku Shiro Jibe Sonamji Gora Benjo Sanje Rupai Sho Sanje Chodan Sanje Chodan La Shanchu Badu Dhamma Jasunji Daku Shiro Jibe Sonamji Gora Benjo Cheda Saje Shanje Padu Dana Japsuje Dagi Chishe Jibe Sola Rola Benjo Sanje Okay, good evening again. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Geshe.
Good evening. Good evening. Okay. What are you going to talk? I think we don't need to talk a lot, introduction Buddhism or about that because all of us, all of you have very good education, understand, but always motivation is important to however you pray, practice, it become Mahayana practice or not is different our motivation. What kind of motivation is exactly like refugee prayer. That's the motivation. Okay? And I would say, there's a lot of things to learn, but maybe we have no time to learn all that. The important is whatever we learn something, try to put into practice. It's like example, buy so many grocery stores for the fridge. We don't cook, we don't eat. That doesn't really benefit for us, right? It's like that. Therefore, however we, whatever we learn things, try to put into practice as much as we can. It's important. Then what practice is things some change our mind. This is the purpose to practice. Right? We have not just 7% every day, just every week, every month, until we die, just doesn't have any influence Dharma. Then of course we put some influence, but maybe there's not much. Okay? Then you guys have that their commentary, it is a lot of verses. We don't go over all of them.
So last time we talked about mundane and super mundane corrective views, right, and how to practice them. And like that, also, if we want to achieve liberation, then what we have to do, we have to engage in the practice. And what kind of practice do we engage in? It's the practice of the three trainings: the training of morality, training of concentration, and training of wisdom. That's what we talked about already. And now today we start from the verse 54, 54, 55, 56, and 57. Okay, so let's read the verse 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54. 54 My Lord, the Buddha taught that mindfulness of the body is one path to follow. Hold it and guard it tightly. Losing mindfulness destroys all Dharma.
아니 대사되고도 알람 거기까지 가르치고 있어요. 전반에 보겠어요. 전반 좀 보겠어요.
So what it's saying mainly is that when you're meditating on the path, what you should do, you should be mindful now of your practice and of your body, speech, and mind.
Okay. Yeah. We understand that.
Be aware of what you're doing. Okay. Because if you're applying the Dharma, then you're aware of what's virtuous or destructive.
Especially here, that
So it's mindful of what in here, in this context?
Well, he's talking about the body.
Oh, I was here. I thought you see nothing.
So,
What do you understand when you say mindfulness of body?
Well, it's different than in verse 48. We talked about mindfulness of the body in terms of the four erroneous conceptions, of being permanent and pure but here it's that constant like vigilance and introspection in your actions in your body, like always being aware of what you're doing.
Being vigilant and using vigilance and introspection to pay attention to the actions of body, so that you do virtuous actions with your body and avoid non-virtuous actions with your body.
That's good. Look at good. Yeah, tell you that Nicola Cardinal, Jabola wants you to get on your wants you. Jabola, the lady touch on the little the lady Sholma, Kanshi, the Kada. That Timmy Tamasha, that link should to Lima without it, and the job leaning on the Kanshi, the child on the Timmy Temple.
Yeah, so when it says starts with the line is my Lord, so that's referring to the king, right? So Nagarjuna is addressing the king as my Lord. And it says the Buddha taught that mindfulness of the body is the one path to follow. So here, like you said, it's the action of the body. So at that time, what is the body doing? Or it is, what is it trying to do? And then watching and being mindful of that action of the body.
시간도 먹여왔지는 나는 소치바 마시바래 봐. You need a paper towel. No, covered it, don't worry. Don't worry.
That's a napkin, the other one.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. 제다네 단 돈도 조금 다 감들 레지고니 수수고 먹게봐 라고 쉐지 제가 먹게봐 지고 만나 맞대봐 쉐기 내가 지금도 저다고 그랬어.
So like we, like there is non-virtuous actions created by body. Right? So virtuous action and non-virtuous action created by body. So being mindful of those actions, mindful of a good action of the body and a bad action of the body, and trying to avoid the bad actions of the body and cultivate or engage in the good actions of the body.
아 이번에 대우르셔바지 로치필 람 치고다 전마디 아니 대와셔바 사는데 저정서 다 저기 선지가 살아가려 아니 다 통화 때문에
Like it says, is the path to follow. So it's like this is the path. The mindfulness is the path that all the Buddhas followed to achieve the state of liberation and enlightenment.
가나나 아니 내또 리를 잡아야 다 링을 삼아 잡고 대자가 있나 전바되게 아니 지금 소수 내가 raptor 아니 이번에 아니 지금 소수 노야가 문제돼 아니 raptor 뭐 잡다 그래서
And so here, of course, this talks about body, but also it can be applied to the speech and the mind as well. So if you apply this mindfulness of all your actions and of all your body, speech, and mind, and then through that, and you can achieve state of liberation and enlightenment.
제가 전반 냠바이나 전반 뭐 맞으면 라와서 이게 추근 인칭도 보자 그래서
So having the mindfulness is very important to hold the path. If you don't have the mindfulness, if your mindfulness degenerates, then all other practice of the three higher trainings and so forth will degenerate as well.
전반이 죽은 죽어지는
So it's like it says, losing mindfulness destroys all that.
다나지는 쉬운지는 하다 전반 빼면 내 받는 지금 그래서
Also in the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life, Shantideva expresses how important mindfulness is.
열망보지 명바지 아니 이거는 내 따야 작가도 지발해서 전반에
If there is a wild, untamed elephant, then the chain to tie it is very important. Otherwise, it might go around and destroy all the village and people, right? So just like that, the chain that ties the elephant and the mindfulness that ties the actions of one's body, speech, and mind is similar.
제가 안에 수준이야 전반에 보지 때문에 집바담시 매가는 그래 개바담시 나도 거래서 무슨 말이야
That's what Shantideva said in his Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life, that if you have a mindfulness, you will be able to tie the mind of your wild elephant, and then and all the fears will disappear, and all the virtues will be in your hand.
야 다른 공대장이다 다른 팀에 공단이 소수 셈데 소수 셈 강신이 가서 됐다도 된 공장이다
So now we're going to do a little bit of meditation on mindfulness. Okay, so here we're going to do mindfulness of one's mind. Right? So trying to see the mind, using the mind, the mindfulness, to see the mind, and see how we can hold it in our mind for as long as possible.
신의적으로 전반에 시시세에 빼는 것 중에 와
So just like we talked about during the teachings on the karma binding, we talked about the importance of the mindfulness and the introspection, right?
오다 다 던진 니가 수수 셈데 수수 셈 강하셔네 니 시발 많이 붙여 셈 강하셔네 아니 그렇게 돼요
So place your mind on your mind, and then see how long you can sit there or abide there on your mind.
제가 남성 신의적 거라 아니 셈나면 막 그렇게 좋아하는 거는 셈는 거고 그래 아니 리초 셈 주시는 미나서 까지 셈세대까지 좋아세대까지 셈나고 그래 리초 셈 셈으로 가도 와 저는 좋아가는 데는 믿는 거 같아 셈나 믿는 거
So that's on the mindfulness, you can be mindfulness of your body, your feeling, your mind, and other phenomena, right? So here, we're going to just focus on your mind.
좋아하면 수지로 좋아 가리 예매까지 좋아 다른 맞춰가지 좋아 가리 좋아 대화 동안 가는 좋아 된 무슨 맞은 내가 되고
So that it means like recognizing, right? So recognizing one's object. So whatever the object it is, of your mindfulness, if it is the feeling, then just thinking, recognizing your feeling. What kind of feeling it is, good feeling, bad feeling, and so forth, and just sit, holding your mind on that feeling.
아니 다 셈는다 수수 셈까지 사실이 차시 이해를 차도 근데 뭐 땅에 다 들리지가 마시는 되고 다시 깔고 그래
So here, we're trying to see of our mind, right, which is a little bit difficult because what is mind? So the mind, you want to see or you want to be mindful of, is the nature of the mind. It's a clear and cognizing, right? So cognizant. So that is the mind, and that itself, to see or to appear to you is very difficult, right? But you try, to think of the mind, and be mindful of your mind.
Okay? You have taught to learn maybe 5 minutes, okay? Lost, come back. Lost, come back, okay?
Mind's whatever I focus on. If I hear a car go by, that moment, that's my mind. If I feel hot, that's my mind. If I think of a flower, that's my mind.
Just looking for very good mind going. That's the good way. 그래서 저 지나가지 수수 샘도 가와도 학 나중에 좀 동호자 이거 말해 샘도 가와도 샘도 가르쳐야 돼요.
So yeah, that's how you recognize your mind, right? By seeing where it's going, what it is thinking, what it is feeling like that. And usually we don't even feel that. We hear the sound, and our mind thinks that's the sound, but then we don't realize that that's the mind that's thinking that sound.
아, 네가 내가로 가르치는 샘 요모가 야나 샘 요모 깨게 두면 대 개바나 내 템베스 잼 갑자기 잡고 그랬어. 아니 샘 요모는 로고 대로 가지고 진짜면 대도 템베 잡고 템베스 먹고 그랬어.
So like when our mind is distracted, we're thinking about all sorts of things, right? Like all kinds of delusions, right? Manifest in our mind. And so that at that time, when you are mindful, then you will recognize that. So if you're not mindful, you just let it go and just follow with that. But then when you are mindful about the mind, and say, oh, this is a delusional mind. This is a bad mind. I should not, follow it. I should stop it right here, like that. So then you will have. So that's the benefit of being mindful of your mind.
You think this? Is it? It's possible to love that? 제가 너도야 다 되는 거 같이 아무 됐다. 아무 설정 지어이나 저 가시 지어이나 너무 그중에 대 선택고 말이야.
So it takes a time, of practice, for you to get used to it, right? So you will not be able to think it right away because we're not used to thinking in that way. So we have to force ourselves at the beginning to think like that. And once you start to think like that, and then you try it again and again and again, then it becomes a little bit easier. So and so after that, then you don't have to think of your mind all the time because you're used to it. The moment that comes, your mind will think, oh, this is bad mind. I should not follow it. I should stop it right there, like that. That mind will come up.
도시가 들려다 다 강타를 같이 임바나 아니 소소는 저거이나 대거이나 공제거나 전반대 얘기 아니 소소는 대 세대하고 스페셜 그래서 되는 거죠 그래서
So like that, you have to be aware of your body and your mind. So whatever you're doing, you have to be mindful of your body and mind. Like whether you're sitting, say I'm sitting, or you're walking, I'm walking, oh, I'm doing this. So you have to be aware so you know what your body is doing.
아, 되는 저거 다 되네. 오늘 다 이슈 저러거든 저거 가는구나. 아니, 제비가 심박하구나. 처음부터 봐도 제고 그래서 다들 나쁘게 시작한 거죠.
And then next verse, how it is related to this is that what kind of recollection you have to have, right? The recollection is like remembering, right? Recollection. So here in verse 55, it talks about the recollection of death and impermanence.
처음부터 봐도 제고 그래서 다 딩거구나. 너들이 신나는 표현을 가지고 저이나.
So you have to remember or recollect the death and impermanence. So it is very important. Is it to scare us that we have to think of the death and impermanence?
야, 저거 땅은 좀 아시기로다.
Let's read the verse 55. It says, your life is tenuous due to many harmful things. It is unstable as a bubble tossed by the wind. While it is quite amazing to breathe in and out when you wake from sleep.
Okay, it's true. It's true as Buddhism, just Buddhism said that. Right? What you got to yeah, Zoom people. How Michael. Would you like to say something? Deborah, Maria, Angela.
Yeah, it is. But lots of people don't like to even talk about this. They say
Exactly. Therefore, we don't want to people hear the voice. But my question is, it's mixed to us to scare. Why they have to talk about impermanent? Why, you said, other way say, why Buddha said us to, don't forget dead impermanent? Why? It's Buddha makes it for us to scare like they were saying, a lot of people doesn't want to hear that. And when Buddha makes us to scare.
Yeah.
or for two reasons. One is so you don't do negative things, and the other is so you make a good use of your human life. So there are really two purposes.
How about that before? Angela, are you there?
Yeah, but can you just say the question again? I'm not quite get it.
Yes, you talk about them. You do other things, then you don't listen. Then we don't see whether you. As Buddha is verse 55, talk about dead impermanent. It means think for dead. But a lot of the people, for us, a lot of people doesn't like to hear that voice. That means that Buddha makes us to scare. That's my question. You got it?
Yeah, but I don't think Buddha make other people scared. It just because we are so used to how do I say we're so used to we even know that's the impermanence told by Buddha, but we're still so used to maybe like to this world, like you just used to like to see something and you still wanted to clinging something good and you don't do so. It's just the matter you know it, but you are not fully accept this is a true reality. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Okay, who would like to explain this verse here? Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I would add is I think it's.
You don't have to add.
No,
Just explain this
he's
verse.
saying it's not about fear, it's that your time is precious and uncertain. Don't wait till tomorrow what you can do today, because you might not have tomorrow. And he makes the allusion, very directly, it's miraculous that you wake up from sleep. You might go to sleep and not wake up. You don't know. So if when in doubt, practice now. When in doubt, do it now.
Okay, are you doing?
I mean, I think typically the meditation on death and impermanence would come after a meditation of the perfect human rebirth. And then so you would have that to create that sense of urgency to use your perfect human rebirth in a meaningful way. Then you would contemplate death and impermanence. But I also feel that, yeah, maybe there is one reason to create a little bit of fear, because you need to fear about falling to the lower realms. You know, if you are thinking about death, you have to have a little, you know, I think that could be motivating to have a little fear about what your next life could be like.
Yeah. What is the cause of the refuge?
Fear.
Fear.
Faith.
Is Buddha has refuge?
Buddha doesn't need refuge.
Buddha is Buddhism?
No, but he already, he doesn't fear the lower realms anymore because he's already enlightened.
You understand Geshe's question?
Maybe I misunderstood. Does Buddha need refuge?
Yeah, if Buddha doesn't have a refuge, then you are not a Buddhist, right?
Oh.
You have to have a refuge. You have to take refuge in order to be a Buddhist. If Buddha doesn't take refuge, that means he's not Buddhist.
He's already crossed over that.
So he's not Buddhist.
I didn't say that.
But he doesn't take refuge.
No, he already crossed over. He's already passed beyond that.
Yeah, but don't you have to take refuge in order to
Until
be Buddhist?
enlightened. I
Yes,
guess
you
refuge
do have to take
until
refuge.
enlightened.
Before that, he was a bodhisattva, right? When he was a bodhisattva, that's when he developed. I would assume he discovered the other Buddhas, right? And maybe that he took refuge in that when he came to that realization, and then he took
Refuge.
refuge in the
Yeah,
other
like
Buddhas.
that time. So you are Buddhist only until you become Buddha. After that, you are no longer Buddhist.
Okay, anything you guys like to add? Margaret, Deborah, add Margaret. Okay, anyway, this is one that I know. Jennifer said, if something for us, if you have no fear, you're not taught to avoid that, right? But secondly, you know, Deborah just mentioned this. A lot of people talk about that. That means also you have to think about that. But it's basically it's Buddha not taught to make the people scared, taught to people to awareness and don't waste time and don't wait until tomorrow. Above that, what they miss, you need to learn to fear. Otherwise, we have no fear. We cannot do that, yes.
So that's, you know, people will think, okay, it's impermanent, my life is short, I want to waste it, I could be born a chipmunk or a squirrel, but
You want chipmunk?
But impermanence has a positive side too. Because things are always changing, things can get better.
There's
You
opportunity.
think it's better or worse?
Well, for me,
Yeah, but sorry, Michael, you just mentioned something that, yeah, impermanence had a good side, but you're still aiming something good. But you're not talking about anything like good or bad. It's just like you accept the reality as an impermanent. I know.
Without impermanence, we couldn't get rid of our negative karma.
Yeah,
And then we couldn't generate all the good qualities.
yeah, that's good. That means also, we don't say impermanence is bad. We don't say that, but we don't talk about impermanence doesn't have the good quality. It's very precious. You will not, however, take thoughts of terrible. Tawada dual learners. Share the dual learners. They should do it. They will learners. They young to the Yankali coverage.
So it's not talking about impermanent is a bad, or even a death is a bad. But that's going to happen, right? So whether it's good or bad, it's going to happen. So when it happens, then it doesn't end there. It has to continue. So what kind of rebirth we're going to have in the future depends on how we create the actions now.
Bejarina, Mummo Lumadela, and the Yonchi, Tapamarochi, and then the dead is Kajana. Part of you like models. There is that Kajana thing is there is Kokopchim better.
So it's like so many people come to this country, right? Into this country and live here illegally, and they don't want to go back. The reason why they don't want to go back is that once they go back, they will not be able to come back again into this country. So they say, okay, so even if it's illegal, or even it is not that good, but I will still stay here like that. So that's like taking the opportunity, right? The grabbing the opportunity, to be here.
There's an intent for that in the apostle. Is it like that? We hear that we don't really feel this is a good place. We complain. Okay. 제가 다 간단해. 제가 다 내가 좋은데 제가 처음 떠발라데 때 생각을 치워나 대 아까 이해도 돌아가고 친구 그랬는데 대리 치도는 아니 처음 떠발라 친구를 나가면 시나를 딱 고쳐봐라.
So if you are afraid, of the death and impermanence, right? And then you will make use of good use of this time that we have now. So if you made a good use of the time you have now, then it was worth being scared of the death and impermanence.
새는 normal 롱그 동아야. 시 초에 좀 맞다가서. 되는데 제대로 너무 말했어. 아주 롱그 나라야. 빠져 말로도 집어지지 않았어.
죽을.
다 나중에 애들 지금 앞에 생각이나 치 초보다 초 모두 되는 안 해.
So they say that there are so many harms in the life, right? And so many things that can end the life, right? So the life is so unstable, so so feeble, right? So it's so easy to disintegrate, and so he says that it's even more impermanent, than a bubble, of water, or like a flame in a wind, like the flame in the wind, it can go off any time. It's very unstable, right? So the life is like that. This is saying that because there's so many harms in the life that can end that life, therefore it's even more impermanent, than the bubble of the, in the water or the flame in the wind.
감정에서나 아니 너마나 근데 쇼로네 미금 손다 두다 아니 팀제 다른 것도 세상을 내가 뭐 통도 단 lumba까지 남아 짠짠 되게 가지 쉽게 하는 지금 딱 가라는 거 상대 가라도 신경 손보 대학이 되게 되나요 대시 시에 되게 너무 많고
So there are many harms to our life, right? So there's many harm, from the outside, like from the the weapons, from the poisons, and so forth. Even the food that we eat, to survive, can become a harm to our life and end our life.
Okay. 제가 다 누군들이 이마다 너무 하도 고도 같네. 따고 바지당 수준으로 다 뒤버렸어. 바지당 중간도 싫어했어.
And so the life and death is like very subtle. So if you breathe out and then breathe in, you are still alive. If you breathe out and unable to breathe in, then you're dead, like that. So that's how small it is.
근데 더 공다 많이 쇼게야 라면 이거 왜 왔어?
Just like it says here, it's amazing that you are breathing and in and out when you wake up from sleep.
제가 다가 공다 많이 쇼게야 라면 쇼게 빼 야한테 보죠. 가서 보이지.
We don't realize that, we don't think it that way, but actually it's like that, So we should, when we wake up and when we are able to wake up in the morning, then we should think, oh, I'm so fortunate, I'm so lucky, to be able to wake up, and I could have died like that.
야, 나도 되는 공대 이제는 수술 때는 용어를 보지. 조화를 내가 되었어. 수술 체들은 야, 수업 교회 정모지 시야가 되는 거죠. 근데 만나게 정모지 나야가 되는 거죠. 간제에 지금 답을 보시. 대부분 파지단에 투 맞으면 힘들어요. 고다 많이 네 쇼게야 하면 왜 근데 이거는 레도 되는데. 조금씩 있잖아요. 조금씩 근데 조금씩 공대야.
So let's do a little bit of analytical meditation here, to gain some experience, with the teachings here that we talked about, right? So, think about, all the things in the life. So, what are there more things, to support the life, or there are more things that harm? Think about that, and then, is it possible that once you breathe out, you will breathe in? Or not? Or is it like you hear so many people, they go to sleep and then they never wake up in the morning like that? Right? So think about like that, the things that cause harm to your life and things that support your life. Think about that, like just do an analytical meditation on that.
예.
So also to try to find out, if it goes along, with what it says in this text. Does it go along with the regular worldly life?
야, 다른 세계 받는 나비 진 중원신 쪽에 다른 사람 뭐 여러 와. 근데 다까지 저거 갖다 보세요. 까지 와고 말해서. 그래서 배 내가 처음 타고 보면 저거는데 처음 타고 다.
So think about all the conditions that can cause death, like that. So even the elements in our body, like imbalance of the elements in our body can cause different kind of diseases or sickness and even death like that. Right? So think about the death and impermanence in that way.
저는 누구든 처음 타고 거는 누구시 거다는데 빼다 되는 바지에 곰 삼모다는 문이 소소지 녀바였나 하는 것도 결국 세 돈아 지금 시행도 처음 따로 쉬쉬려 버려도 참 쉬려 버려도 칼라가 되나 다가는 뭐 남도 지금
So this is one of the most important meditation, to do in order to make us, in order to push us or make us to practice Dharma. Otherwise, so if you know that you're going to die and then so have to do it, that will make you feel like that. Otherwise, of course, we all know we're going to die, but we don't really think it's going to die, and we don't think about death to the point where it like makes us to do the practice of Dharma.
예전에 또 지금 소모되면 되셔서 명감을 다 명명을 또 되시 인간도 무슨 내고 바우스 전에 샤잖아. 이게 무슨 말을 바라는 빼 뜬감나지 되네.
So like you feel sick and then you are taken to the hospital, right? And then the nurse comes and looks at you, and then she says, "Oh, you're very critical in a condition like that." Then in your mind you're thinking, so what's going to happen? What's going to happen until the doctor comes and give the medicine or treatment? You have like anxiety going on in your mind all the time, right? So at that time, then you really think about the death. The death is coming.
다 티그나 doctor 처럼 나서 되는 삼삼 맞는 데 소니 그러나 다 멤버가 나지 자차 잔이 자다가서 돼 포로지.
Then if the doctor comes and says, "Oh, you have this kind of disease, you have that kind of disease, and if you don't, take care of yourself, you might die," like that. And then whatever the doctor says, you follow like 100%.
이제 제가 티가 딱 내시냐마냐, 고냐마냐 딱 치워드리는 거예요.
So because at that time you have kind of found the ascertainment of the death. So you really understood that, oh, I'm really going to die, and I'm going to die if I don't do that. If I don't take care of myself, if I don't follow the advice of the doctor, I'm going to die. So you have found that ascertainment of death at that time. That's why you follow that.
Is it right? Right now, it's everything right. Yeah, everything right. From an airport, nobody live. Just take something. 다 봐줘야 되는데 이거 되나? 뭐니가 솔직히 다 serious something.
In the back of our mind, we all know that we always think that, oh yeah, somebody, we're going to die someday. Always think not now, not today, not this month, not this year even. Always think, not going to die now, but in the mind, we know that everybody knows we're going to die.
오케이. 제가 들리지는 딱 가르쳐 보려서 나 저시 뭐 편하게 아니 추리쳐 버려서 추 가르치는다. 수술링아 이었는데 몇 개월처럼 말해 보지 우리까지 셈마도 지고 그래서.
So what you have to do, is that why we are afraid, right? So it's because we might fall into the lower realm. That's why. So that's the reason why we're scared of death in our context in the Buddhist, right? And so what throws us into the lower realm is the non-virtuous actions. So therefore, we should strive not to create any non-virtuous actions.
다 오늘 로드 녀와서 가오래서.
So where's the lower realm?
녀와
You're afraid of, right? You're afraid to be born in the lower realm. And the hell realm, let's say in the hell realm. So where's the hell realm?
제가 가서 나도 그제 녀와 예다 들었다 녀와도 가오 맛있대 또 뭐냐 그제 예다다.
So we talk about the lower realms, like the animal realm, hungry ghost realm, and the hell realm, right? So we see the animals, we know that the animal realms is right here. But where's the hungry ghost realm and the hell realm?
나 한글 고스한테 들어주나 요래 같이 가라 말하고 뺑 암라제 로데게도 이제 야도다 이만이가 주다 가라 말하지.
So and the hungry ghost can be in the human being or in the animals. Like there are many animals like who don't find food for a long time. They're like skinny to the bone, but still they're alive. They just have to go on like that. So that's like a hungry ghost.
나도 무서워 뭐 보이는 것 같아. 나 미가 나도 미가 변나 진짜가 다 무서워 그이 샤 봐주도 좀 뺑 이제 딱 이슈게 대한 것도 저도
So like then and animals, like there are many different kind of animals. I mean like the unwanted or the domestic animals, right? That's taken care by the people, or the animals that are in the wild, in the forest, not taken care by people, right? Not owned by people. So there are different kinds, right? So they are made a little free, but then there's other fears there, right? But then those who are owned by people like the buffaloes or cows, they are like put in one place tight, they couldn't even move like all day like that. No? So that's the kind of hell also that we see in ourselves, right? By our mind. Then the animals in the wild, they're like always very scared, right? Always very scared who's going to come and attack me like that. Oh, am I going to find a food to eat or not? Like that. It's all the time, very worried all the time.
Right? 어제 tunzul ta nyawa loje da jin wa ko tunzul ma che na so de yo ma.
So that's kind of the hell. But of course, we talk about the other kind of hells like the Vajra hell and all these things. We don't know what that is. But this kind of hell, like the animals go through. So that we don't have the confidence that we're not going to be born there, right?
이제 들린다 네. 가서. 근데 간이 찍었나 다 나중에 시원나 네 좀 기억 되는 대체에 같이 좀 기억해야지. 기억도 간이나 링아 여서 뭐 살. 근데 다 그냥 이렇게 좀 마사지.
So, so since we don't have that confidence, we're not going to be born there, and therefore we should be like careful not to be born there. And what causes us to be born there, is the non-virtuous action.
Okay.
Body, speech, and mind. So, so we should strive not to create any non-virtuous actions so that we will not fall into those lower ones.
Is this serious? You sure? 오케이. 다 도우지. 다 되네. 디쇼로 공급 좀 앞에 되기. 딱 나도 저를 봉보를 잡아도 또 그래. 해서 말이야.
Then, so because we are scared otherwise because we're very attached to our body, right? And so therefore we should give up attachment to this body, and that's what it explains in the verse 56.
이거는 잡아야 돼. 두번 잡아야 돼.
We have attachment to our bodies.
Really. And we need to best body or body, best, most beautiful, most handsome, most beautiful. Whatever we need, we interpret that. Is it? Then think better than machine.
Do we think of our body as the most beautiful, most handsome?
We need to.
We want it to be, I don't know.
Margaret, and Tom,
생명을 소수보다 야수를 생명을
같이 수보대 가네. 같이 수보들 야수를 제거했어. 원래 야수도 꼴때 수보들 야수도 제거했어. 수보 야수 깨려면 수보라는 또 있잖아. 야수도 제거했다.
We take care of the body in the best way we can. Like we give it the best food or best clothes and everything.
나는 뭐 야수의 상고, 수보도 수보 야수의 상고. 야수래도 맞다. 나 야수의 거기. 섭다 야수의 거기. 이제 수지. 수보는 섭다가 되죠. 그지.
그래서 말에 인고도
딱 인고잖아.
소고. Maybe you don't think that my body is the best, but you think that I should make my body the best.
But 제가 다 텔레데시라 잡아 맞지스. 그때 같이 하는 거 있을랍니다.
So don't be attached to your body like that. So what happens? Because what's going to happen to your body?
Okay, read about that.
Will end up as ashes, dry dust, or putrid filth. You should understand that this body has no essence. It is destroyed, it dissolves, it decomposes, and disintegrates into pieces.
It's true. 나 영문은 매일 쓰는 타워다 차고 그래야지.
So you do end up as ashes by burning in the fire, right?
야나 안에 롱다 님을 깜고 그래야지.
Or will dry, with the sun and wind.
영문은 추락이 약선도 봐. 영문은 롤러전에 샤고가 사는 그래야지.
Or it will be thrown in the water and eaten by the fishes, or thrown up in the mountain and eaten by the vultures.
가지 니뭐 쥐리 매바 아니 매바 차고 그래야지.
And so, anyways, this body has no essence at all. It will become a dry dust. Ash. So it will become putrefied, putrid, like it will become rotten and it will become very ugly, disgusting to look at even. Or it will be cut into pieces by others. So because it is putrid, filled, therefore it's not eatable. So like the meat or the flesh is not is filled, and therefore will not eat. The blood is filled also, and therefore nobody will drink. If it's good, right? If it's good, then we'll eat it, right?
Anyway, 제가 다 대통령으로 왜? 내 돈이 좀 앞지게 내려다. 근데 이제 사실 좀 되게 마소하게 그래.
So this is what Shantideva said. I say it will not, it is not, it's not clean. Therefore, it's not eatable. It's because it is not the blood is also not drinkable and like that, right? So this is what Buddha said already, like 2,500 years ago.
Yes.
So, Geshe, of course, if you have the motivation though to make the most of your perfect human rebirth for as long as possible, then you would want to create conditions to have a long life, right? I mean, you would want, but it's just obviously we're talking about attachment to worldly.
Yeah.
We were talking about body,
but there's a cousin man that would buy. They charge it on over there. So they were there. So boy, which is my machi. Then what do we pay each day as a doing them?
Yeah, so you should think of your body as a vessel to benefit others. And so if you think like that, then yes, for that you need to keep your body. And then also, like in this text, also earlier it mentioned about the food that you consume, to sustain this body. It's just to sustain this body, not out of attachment, but just to sustain this body so that you can benefit yourself and others.
간지 수수고 봉보대 무서위 아시 때라시라 차요 말해서 군타만 매워잖아 그래서.
So if you think in that way, then you will not have the attachment. But people normally we have so much attachment. So when we have this kind of attachment, to overcome that kind of attachment, then we have the thing like this here. So at the end, it's going to become ashes or will be dry dust and like that. It's going to become filled or putrid like that.
Okay. 나대야 까마까지 공부가 되죠. 그래서 단데 조금만 조금만 되네. 배나 강 맞으면 띵고에서 라그도와 때문에 남바 코로 다 같이 소리를 해서.
Now let's do a short meditation on this as well. Of course, these are all like thinking about, right, whether it's like this or not. So you're checking. So that's why you do the analytical meditation here. And is it really like this? Is it really like this? What it is said in the text, or is it just like something like a story made up by a Buddhist?
Okay. gym with the Lord. Yeah. So even doesn't matter for us, we have just don't touch with our body. Therefore, don't touch too much. For that. That the show the children who want to choose the child in the telechewa.
And then, so it says in the next verse, it talks about even other things that looks very strong and very stable, will be destroyed. Will come to end. Let alone your body. Verse 57. The earth, Mount Mary, and the oceans will be incinerated by 7 suns. But even dust will remain from the environment.
So what is to be said about weak and puny humans?
Yeah, who can explain like this? Hi, Margaret. Do you have a book with you? That girl. Okay. Now you mute.
Oh, Keshila. Yeah, so even we think we're on day to day, we look around and we think that the mountains or that we always say is there for a long time. But actually mountains also, they are life and they also die over time. So, what I think we don't think that way.
What is always die?
Mountains can die too, over a long time. Volcanoes die. Volcanoes, after they erupt, they die.
That mountain is alive?
Mountain is alive. They say that Mount Everest, Mount Kailash, every year it grows a little bit.
It's die. It's die. Oh, they said that it's die. Okay,
Anyway, I think the verse just reminds us that we think that things are very permanent in the way we see, even like the earth does not last forever. The mountains don't last forever.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. That's correct. Therefore, yes, even we think our body is strong. Body is just very, what's that, dangerous. It's not dominant dangerous.
Even like the body is very weak and very fragile compared to all these huge mountains.
제가 나도 남배 전에 난 남배리 받나 딱 집에 가고 내배 가 집에 가봐야 매도 취시돼 매도 말 그랬어. 이마도 발제네 매 말에 들어 그랬어. 근데 최용매는 너무 잘 그랬어.
It says it would be incinerated by 7 suns. I don't know if you have heard about this. Is that in the Western?
It is.
Yeah, in the Western.
In contemporary.
In Buddhism, yeah, in Buddhism we talk about how there's the era, versus the era of the formation and the era of the destruction and all like this. So when during the era of destruction, so everything will be destroyed, and there will be like 7 suns. Even the one sun will heat up so much. Then when there's a 7th sun, it will be like a big fire. Then everything will burn like that. So that's Buddhism. So yeah.
In science, as the sun exhausts its fuel, the gravity within the sun will lose gravity, and as a consequence of that, the sun will expand and become what's called a red giant. So it will actually increase in size as the core loses gravity. So that's consistent with modern science, is that the Earth will be engulfed by the sun. So there's stages of a star's life. So this is really consistent with science.
True.
Yeah, I've heard that. Although the latest theory I heard was that the sun will expand and get bigger, but they used to think it would take the Earth inside the sun, but now they're saying maybe not quite that big. But who knows? Because
It'll get hot.
it'll get hot.
But anyway,
Yeah.
global warming.
No, it'll burn. It'll incinerate.
No, this is going to be really low. Buddha only told them 2,500 years experience, something like that.
Yeah, but it will take a lot less time than 7 days, though.
Yeah.
And so, I would say
You have
7
only
days.
one sun and no heart.
We got a couple billion years before this.
It does happen every week.
No, still we have 1022 Buddha will come. This is only fifth Buddha.
三个洞
1000.
Buddha.
Oh, right.
1022.
So like you said, it'll be like a couple of billion or even eons.
I mean, according to the modern science,
So
yeah.
eons, so that will take eons.
You think this is possible? Even this, like maybe 100 years and right now, how the temperature become cool or warm? It's getting warmer.
Global warming.
It's everywhere.
I wasn't here anyway.
Sure. You think, yeah, Mark, you both here.
I mean, I don't have a degree in climatology, but I mean, there's always been, like, you can't say one summer's hot and one's cold. It's like, there's been ice ages. This is something different. We don't know. I mean, it's very
But they
politicized.
they say even a lot of ice before then, a lot of ice, the ice is going down. It's sure getting warmer.
Oh, it's definitely getting warmer, but from what and for how long, that's the question.
Yeah, that's to be both times.
But it's interesting, it's fascinating. Like when I fill up my car with fuel, that's fascinating because that fuel, petroleum, comes from when the planet was just a lush jungle. I mean, it was unrecognizable. This planet was unrecognizable 400 million years ago. So it's constantly changing.
Anyway,
From dinosaurs, that's what we call
Yeah.
it, fossil.
Yeah, it's amazing.
anyway, now this thing is the one to talk about. Because
그런 게 4개 써봐요. 그런 4개 써봐요.
yeah, of course, it's karma. 제자 안에 같이 어쩌다 laptop 친구 있어. 너희들 맞아. laptop 친구 수고하거든. 저 땡만 남들이처럼 지는 거였어. ele.
So yeah, when we talk about these things that we assume and consume, is created by our own karma, right? Our karma. So the petrol that you're using is created by your karma. So it's not natural like that there.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, so what he's saying is here is that even these, powerful, objects like Mount Mirror and so forth, when it will come to end, then what is there to say about our body, our fragile body?
Okay? Any questions? Any questions you guys have? No questions? Hey, Tom, how are you? Good to see you. How's your grandson? You moved. You moved your microphone. Now I can see you are talking, but we don't hear. No, you need to unmute.
Sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No,
How
I'm
are
in
you?
Colombia. I'm very well. I hope you are too. I'm in Colombia, Cartagena. I work with a nonprofit down here.
No, you know England.
Colombia, Cartagena,
South America.
South America.
Oh, that's a nice.
Oh, good. How's your grandson?
Harry's doing really, really well. He got a full 4-year scholarship, and he's going to study medicine to be a doctor.
Okay. Okay, anyway, any questions? You guys have no questions. It's too easy or too difficult? We all know that, yes.
So you asked us when we were contemplating death and impermanence, you said, does only Buddhists say this, or is it really like this? But I think that if you're not a Buddhist and you contemplate death and impermanence, then your inclination is probably say, wow, then I have to do as many fun things as possible. Like
Yes.
they call it a bucket list is what they say. I'm going to travel here and I'm going to do this. So it's like you have to contemplate that the only thing at the time of death that will help you would be your Dharma, because otherwise you would just.
Yeah, according to Buddhism. Yes, according to Dharma. Enjoy the life. You just welcome. You have very good opportunity that you don't use. But important also, if you talk about that improvement, it don't make you more stressful, or, unhappy feeling like that. Multiple muscle, slow muscle.
뭐라서 나 상계 송화를 송문을 되는 레슨을 뭐래 되는 레슨을 저런 섬실라라. 그래서 상계 송화를 점을 되는 레슨을 어디 상계 송화를 뭐 이게 뭐네 말에 선거를 했어. 그래서 나도 먼저 상계 송화를 마서나 되는데 건조도 지자도 저도 어떤 시기에다가 50만씩 얼마 디디치고 내도 선거를 했어.
대단한 거 나한테 공부 기재 들어야 돼. 그러니까 뭐는 때려. 그 사진 손을 가지고 막 봐. 사진만으로 뭐 되지 다 하지.
내가 너무나 다 시외
사진 손만
시간 좀 처음부터 가게 좀 배워 맞아. 네, 그래서 네 맞습니다. 내가 치워 그 church 땅 말했어.
땅 말해. 나하고 말.
Yeah, of course, people who don't know that only Dharma will be of benefit at the time of death will not practice Dharma. But even that concept, that only Dharma will be of benefit at the time of death, nothing else. Is it really true, or is it just what Buddha said?
나한테는 그게 좋아지 마. 그 저기 주마도 신발고 막상 좀까지 만나가요스. 주 벨리고 만나가요스. 다들 가서 좋아해.
If that is what Buddha said, then of course, it's just because what Buddha said. Then of course, there's no question, right? I mean, if you follow that, you follow. If you don't follow it, you don't follow that. But if it's really like that, then what proof you have that only Dharma will be of benefit at the time of that?
신발 펜만도 담아 펜 토이고 그냥.
So what proof you have to prove that only Dharma will be of benefit and nothing else?
Okay, how about yeah? We have any question? The Zoom people have any answer? Okay.
You could prove that nothing else would be of benefit. For instance, you could say your money's not going to be of benefit, even all your good memories, your family, nothing will be of benefit. So at least you can say, okay, well, if all that I carry is my black and white karma, then of course.
Are you believe? Are you sure
How do you know nothing would be of benefit? The Egyptian kings used to have all their servants killed with them, and so that they would take their servants to the next life to help them. They really did that. They buried the servants with the king so that they could take care of them in the next life. They believed it. They believed it.
In India, they have also this tradition where if the husband dies, the woman is also buried. Right?
Is that Suti?
Buried or burned at the same time, together with the husband, so that they will be together again in the next life.
They also some custom, right? They also put a lot of money, gold under the box as well.
Often.
Taiwan, they burn money.
Real money?
No, they have like paper money. It's believed.
And then they also burn like house and car.
Like you can send someone a boat or a nice car. Yeah.
You can think this true or this true or some people according. Yeah, you're right. They think they can take the whole army, but you think this true or not?
We only know they are.
There's Geshe, I don't know. That's a saying in my culture says that you couldn't bring anything when you die, any material, your family, your son or kids, but the only thing you can bring is your karma.
What they put the fake money?
That's Daojiao. That's not Buddhism.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm just sharing. This is interesting. I mean, there's like probably know the Taiwanese culture, right? There's everything, and they said that. So yeah, so the only thing you look at the karma, and you wanted to have a good virtue, right? So there's something. Yes, not only at the time of death, you just practice constantly, diligently, and then you got a peace in mind. Like his own is always emphasize that you just got peace in mind, then you don't do any non-virtue, like you keep it like a good virtue, and then at the time of death, then this is something, you keep yourself, like positive and, like peace in mind. I think it'd be beneficial. So that's only something because everything, your body would dissolve, everything would be gone. So you can, when you want it, you have attachment, those things would be apart, say goodbye to you. So to them,
Anyway, we can see, doesn't matter. You're famous, rich person, they cannot take with them. Even their body there, we have to live that. This is true, right? We don't see, we can see. Therefore, whatever physical things he had, you cannot take future life. It's true. But how you prove you can take Dharma?
We can't prove karma, so we can't really sort of prove it. So we have faith in Buddha's teachings about karma because of all the things he taught that we can understand. Then we can have faith in Buddha, and then knowing or believing that that is true, then it's logical that that's the only thing that can help us at the time of death.
Something is in.
I would say I agree with all of that, but I think there is an analysis. I was thinking about this in my mind, and I mean, you guys can, I'll be brave to take a stab at it, but we know that we are a dependent horizon, right? So we know that, and we know that there's impermanence and there's cause and effect, right? So we know that, and we also know that a like cause has a like effect, right? So that's how we got to this point. So we can take, all right, how did I get here? We can show that there's some logic, there's some reasoning that got me to this point. What is death? Death is merely just the separation of the mind from the body, right? So there is that. So if we say that this is how I got here, like cause leads to a like result, there is a cause and effect. If I engage in virtuous activity, I have a more or less try to have a virtuous mind, and so on and so forth. There will be more likely than not a more virtuous or a happier next part of the journey. In very simple language. That's what I would say. And that's Buddhist.
How do you prove that from the like cause comes the like result, or like from the black karma comes the bad result? How do you prove that?
It's engaging in a conversation. When do we see an example when a table turns into a chicken the next moment? Just a very coarse, simple example. We find that that's reason that logically that's reasonable. A like cause yields a like result. When do we see, I push this and then it sets on fire? When do we see that? There's a like cause leads to a like result.
How you prove the like cause to want the like result? How you prove?
Other than just our experience, it's hard to do that.
Okay.
What's the answer, Geshe? How would you say?
This is my thing, okay. So, but like I want to give a chicken shot. What you come show you like what is? Can I tell you what?
We're going to talk about the non-virtuous action, right? So what bad action is the non-virtuous action. The bad action, the non-virtuous action. We should not create that because that's going to bring bad results, suffering results. Can we experience? Can we understand that through our own experience or no?
And
if you do something virtuous, right? Something that will help benefit others, right? Not just saying from by your mouth that this is good to do, but really doing it to benefit others. So if you do that, then you will have a good result. Is that true? How do you prove that? So like if you can help somebody, would that person be happy with you?
Most, not 100%, but most. If you do, like even say, if you listen your boss, he or she be happy. If you always argument them, they're not happy. This is like,
Very obvious, right?
근데 나도 근데 빼기네. 또 시키네. 다만 단단하죠. 또 사야 또야 대학까지 뭐 같이 오래서.
Like that, you take the example like that. So then you say, okay, of course, there can be some cases where you don't get feedback, good thing for them. But then, but mostly it's like that, right? So when you do good, you get good. So from there, you can see that all the good things that we have now, from that reason, from that example, we can say, okay, so all the good things I have now is because of my good action.
또 요한어지 사람이 opposite conditions.
So like we have all the good things, right? I mean, like good food, a good place to live, and so forth. There's so many people around, even around in Boston, who don't have all those things, right?
아 오늘 군들을 매워 마들이 와서 같이 우리 대통령이로.
And then there's the question as why is that we have all these things that and that's good, and why don't they have? What made them not have it? What made us have it?
마들을 되게 고가도 쓰죠. 군들을 고가도 쓰기 많죠.
So who gave us this opportunity to have good things, and who didn't give them the opportunity to have those good things?
빼자죠. 이게 누가 나요? 사실은 사실 되게도 사실도 지금 가네.
So like not saying bad thing about the homeless people, but like there's so many full of homeless people around here, right? So we are all in the same kind of area, same city.
제가 군들을 근데 반면이 나도 저번에 로즈 그걸 탑시에.
They were given all the opportunities to have a good life, right? Their parents must have done really, good, to help them, to give them education and everything they can.
다 오늘 아마 군들이 이제 파마 쪽으로 했지만 나도 파마 약부터 되게 있었지. 또
Then sometime we might say, oh yeah, because they were born,
family.
with a bad family, so in a bad family, or we were born in a good family, good parents like that.
오늘 대세서 좋아했어.
Then who made that decision?
다 도지서는 나도 그 많다고 야보다 제세시. 쉬죠. 다 제대고 야보체나 팀저거 야보 못 두샤지나 저거 두고 못 직대 취해.
So that shows that there is another cause. There's more than that, more than just what we see. So there's a cause. So what the cause is the good things. So because we did good, therefore we're getting good. Because they didn't do good, therefore they're not getting good.
도지는 섬로 다 문에 딱 개와 칸에 개와 같이 여러분 쇼바요. 라나 제가 펜바 로지 제가 만들고 같은 개미샤와서.
So then you see that this is the virtuous action that brings good things. So the virtuous actions are action that helps others, so that doesn't harm others.
Okay? When you think about that, Tenley is 땅하고 기와 가셔야 돼요. 아니 다 기와는데 시카로 저기와 아니 다 저기 저기 저거 아니 다 계획이죠. 계획이죠. 이제 두자스.
So that way, then we can also come to understand about the past and future lives. So what made us to have this life, this kind of life, and so forth. So in the past and future life, what we did good when we did good in the past life, therefore we can have a good in this life. If we do good in this life, then we will have good in the future life.
Okay. 두 전에 당내 계획샤와 때문에 심박 펠면도 왔습니다. 생각 소소 고언니고.
So like that, with that kind of analysis, analytical meditation, you do an image like that, by thinking that, then you have to come to understand or to gain the ascertainment that yes, it's only the virtuous action that can help. Nothing else but only the virtuous action.
다 된다고 막혀샤와 가르쳐 수치 제대로 말나 대소소 그 셈다고 말이는 거래. 다 재밌어 뭐래.
And then so those non-virtuous actions which bring suffering to us, nobody wishes to do that, right? Nobody wishes to bring happiness and suffering to themselves. So why would they create non-virtuous action? And that again, yes, that goes to here because of not being mindful of our body, speech, and mind.
Okay, this is the conclusion. And some people sleeping there, or not sleeping. Hey, Margaret. Hey, Angela.
I'm still listening, Geshe.
Good, good, good. You turn off the video. I feel you're maybe doing something else.
No, I'm just low profile.
Kidding. Okay, there's a couple of verses. Go back, read, think. Many things. Oh, Geshe the Nagarjuna talk about someone like that, or maybe that. He just talk about whole universe. Don't think that. Talk about our daily life. Connect with my body. Connect with my mind. We talk about me. If you really feel that way, it's really work. If you say, oh, he's just talking about that. Oh, he's talking about that. Oh, maybe he or she. It doesn't go us. Right? Like example, we go to the hospital. We get general and go, right? She's the translator over there. Listen, I'm really the person to a patient. Whatever patient the doctor told me, she think, oh, it's like this problem. Because he talk about me really. It doesn't take for her that doesn't explain because you have this problem. Because it doesn't go to a circle like that. We say, oh, maybe he's talking about that, maybe they talk about maybe that way. Maybe like those religions, that person, not like that. This is reality daily life. It doesn't really work. It means don't waste your time. Do by mindfulness. But doesn't say don't enjoy your life, okay? That's also be important. Okay? I think you have no question that I will start. Today I fall sleepy. Okay, I think we stop here. There's a homework. You guys also do more meditation, okay? Thank you, ma'am.
Please turn to page 39. Sahi Praktikshushi Metatra, Rirati Shindi Dege Hadi, Sange Shindu Maki Ruwadi, Rokonata Jinga Trupashu, Jetsum Vale Kute Rapte Chen, Yakatu Metro Jugi Padam, Losante Pedro Misosuji, Jole Muso Tatu Le Yuchi, Idam Buddha Mandala. My two collections, vast to space, that have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become seed-leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach the state that I be held in loving compassion for all my lives come under me, may I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the paths as I discern them. May I uphold Buddhist teachings for a very long time. My heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined. May I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddhist deeds be nourished for a long time. May even this graded course to enlightenment completely due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhists and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive to practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold line of virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere.
Shana Pepom Dinzin Yasola, Owa Tetsun Jede Lunu.
49. You who uphold this diffused moral way, who serve the clear of all, assisting in preserving and spreading mindfulness about glorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes the magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior, myself, and others, your disciple, please return swiftly. Your form embodies all Buddhas. Your nature is that of Abhidharma. You are the root of the three jewels, homage to all gurus. In short, I seek your blessing, O protector, to be cared for by you from birth unremittingly through all my lives, and thus to become your chief disciple, holding every secret of your body, speech, and mind. O protector, please grant that all be auspicious for me to be foremost among your very first circle of disciples, wherever you manifest Buddhahood, so that all my temporal and ultimate wishes without exception may be effortlessly and spontaneously fulfilled. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I join the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I completely attain the state of Vajradhara. Furthermore, in life after life, may I, pleasing him in return, be forever fostered by an accomplished spiritual master. In his care, may I acquire in him a firm, unshakable faith, pleasing him by never means possible, doing nothing even for an instant to disappoint. May my spiritual master impart to me every instruction and every teaching in its entirety. Having understood them faultlessly, may I practice them and be able to bring them to perfection. May I never even for a moment fall under the sway of malevolent teachers or misleading friends. Having developed in every life belief in cause and effect, renunciation, devotee mind, and pure view, may I embark upon them continually with effortless experience. In every life, may every virtuous act gathered by way of body, speech, and mind be causes solely for the welfare of others and for the purest and highest enlightenment. Page 57. Through this virtue may I stray free, having gained Buddha state. Place each and every saint in me, without exception, in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forever. Should we include any of the additional prayers recommended for Zoka Rinpoche? The
Protective.
yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
requesting the 4 activities from
Yeah, okay.
The more prayer for Badalama.
On the number. Yeah.
Just the
Point,
requesting.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Page 69. Joe, the 4 types of actions are mind itself. They do not exist apart from the mind, and mind does not exist. Ultimately, there are no Ultimately, there are no distinctions, and neither color nor form exist. The 4 actions are miraculously shown as mere illusions by the glorious goddess of conquest in accordance with our needs. Principal lady amidst an assembly of conquerors distinguished by a very sensual red body. You have conquered, will conquer, and are in a conquering mood. I prostrate to her who always conquers. Please conquer all beings of the 3 realms. Joe, the 4 types of actions are mind itself. They do not exist apart from mind, and mind does not exist. Ultimately, there are no distinctions, and neither do color nor form exist. The 4 actions are miraculously shown as mere illusions by the glorious goddess of wrath in accordance with our needs. Principal lady amidst an assembly of terrifiers distinguished by a very fierce black body. You have terrified, will terrify, and are in terrifying mood. I prostrate to her who always terrifies. Please, with your wrath, eliminate my sickness, evil spirits, enemies, and misfortunes. Joe, although you appear with such varied characteristics, your nature has no concrete existence. Yet you benefit transmigrators with the four actions. By thoroughly praising you with full attention, may I also spontaneously achieve the state of the four actions, and like you, strive to benefit migrating beings.